Hi everyone, welcome to today's Feliciano live session. We're here talking about the MBA, and the question is, the MBA, is it worth it? We are happy to have two of our MBA students in the Feliciano School of Business MBA program, Sydney Garcia and Sal Parrinello. They're both in our program, and they're both marketing and management concentrations. So as we go through our questions, feel free to ask questions while this interview is happening, and we'll be happy to take as many as we can. So our first question is, what drew you to pursue your MBA immediately after graduating with your bachelor's degree?
I'll start with that. Personally, at least, as a undergraduate student just graduating, I already knew that I was a seasoned student in the sense that I already was conditioned to study and devote time towards my studies and papers and other assignments of that nature. So I figured if there's no better time, now is the time, because the transition would be easier knowing that I already have those that sort of discipline in set. I knew that if I went into the workforce first, personally, I don't know that I'd be able to transition as easily.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, being able to just understand Canvas, especially being here, having a network and knowing the school, it really helped me just roll right into the program.
Great. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're here with two of our Feliciano School of Business MBA students, Sydney Garcia and Sal Parrinello. They're both marketing and management concentration majors. And we're talking about the topic of MBA, is it worth it? As we progress through the interview, feel free to ask your questions live. We'll get to as many as we can. Second question is, how has the coursework and expectations of MBA students differed from your undergraduate experience?
I got this one. Coming to the end of the program, I've noticed a big difference. The courses will cover the same topics, but it'll go much deeper in the MBA level. Instead of just learning high level, you're going to get in deep. You're going to use application. You're going to use projects that will really bring out your knowledge of it. For example, in a negotiations class I'm taking, we prepare a case, we write it down, it almost feels like a law class, and then we get paired up against another student, and we debate, we have a negotiation, and it's real life, practical type work that I could feel I'm improving on when I'm going to graduate and go out into the real world.
I'd agree with that. Most of it's more so application based. So rather than write papers, although we do that as well with case studies and things of that nature, it's more application in the sense that we present a lot and we have to create our own plans. For example, we took a crisis management course, and rather than just study case studies that involved crisis management plans, we had to develop our very own from scratch. So it really makes you apply your knowledge and your understanding of the concepts.
Great. For those of you who just joined us, we're here with two of our MBA students here at the Feliciano School of Business, Sal Parrinello and Sydney Garcia. They're both marketing and management concentration students. As we progress through the interview, feel free to ask questions. We'll get to as many as we can. And the topic today is the MBA, is it worth it? The next question is, here at the Feliciano School of Business, we have an international trip that all of our students take part in. Typically happens in the latter part of their program. So the question is, how has that international trip integrated into the coursework? How is it integrated?
Well, I went on the trip. I just got back in January, and it fits in smoothly. It was really exciting. We got to go away. I was in Asia. I went to Vietnam and Hong Kong, and it was associated with our international business course. So we learned about the foreign markets in class. We had a great understanding of it, where we were going. We were prepped because we knew our destinations. And we went on this trip. It was really exciting. We had time to go visit some businesses, some multinationals, like an American company working over in Hong Kong, and you could see all the differences, and it really brought to life everything we were doing in the classroom.
I can't speak as much about the topic because I haven't gone yet, but I can share that my cohort at least is going to Argentina and Chile.
Great.
Blast.
Next winter, yeah. I'm excited.
We actually do have a live question, and it pertains to global capital markets and investments. Are there any classes in the program that focus on investments, or any topics that are focused on investments?
There's an investment finance or investment banking course, I believe.
It depends on your concentration. Right. When you're going to go more of an economics route like that, there are electives to your disposal that you could choose, and you could look for ones that do have investment. I do have friends who are in some of those classes. Just for me, I'm marketing and management, so I haven't taken any of those electives.
There is one core class, though, that definitely for sure, I can't remember the formal name of it, but is certainly related to investment banking.
Great. So our next question is, what are some of the challenges that you've experienced as an MBA student, and how did you overcome them?
After you.
I'd say personally, working 20 plus hours a week, more than that, about 30 hours a week, it can get tricky with time management. I have to devote a lot of my time at home, of course, at night, and sometimes even on the weekends towards my work. Not unlike undergraduate, though, I would say. I will say, though, to overcome that, I have to come up with a plan, a schedule. I have to make sure I devote a certain amount of hours per week towards that. But I will share that although that's a challenge, one of the challenges that I've faced in undergraduate that I don't experience in MBA or in graduate school rather, is that the teamwork is much more cohesive in graduate school. I feel like the students are much more motivated. So when it comes to teamwork, they're much more involved and engaged. So you don't really have as many slackers, if you want to.
Well, yeah, because this is a choice now. People are making a decision to go further and get the MBA, and that's what this is all about. And you know what you said about the obstacles to overcome. Yeah, it is a time commitment. So that means you have work, that means you have school, that means you have homework, that means you got to balance family life. So that is the biggest challenge. However, if you are seriously motivated to come get your MBA and make yourself better because of it, you can buckle down and get through it. And I've taught myself that lesson through this 2-year program so far.
It really comes down to discipline, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our next question relates to, are there any pieces of advice you would share with interested but undecided MBA students? These would be students that either are completing their undergrad program or are working in the field and interested in the MBA. So what advice would you give them?
Do it. It's worth it. The market, and especially us all coming out into the workforce, it's evolving. Everyone's getting more competitive. Everyone can study in and now outside of school as well with all the resources available to us. So if you could ever find a way to learn more and make yourself more expansive, more competitive, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. I tell people that there's no one path. I don't believe that you have to go to work first or you have to get your MBA first. I do believe, however, that to pursue higher education, certainly in today's day and age, is sort of required at this point if you want to be competitive in the market. Otherwise, you're competing against a huge market now that has an undergraduate degree already. So if you want to diversify your portfolio, your resume, it's required.
Great. So now the question is an MBA really worth it? What is your opinion?
So far, yeah, I'm still in the program, and I've noticed that whenever I mention I'm going for my MBA, I'm about to get it, I always get that extra look in people's eyes. So it makes me feel good about it right now. I'm in the program, and moving forward, I know it's going to open doors for me, allowing me to move up into upper management and get the jobs that I want, and not having to go back to school afterwards when I'm ready to start a family and settle down.
I'd agree with that. I can attest to the fact that when you have your MBA degree, you definitely receive more feedback and more interest from employers. I'm only halfway through my program, and I've already had about 3 people who've shown interest in me for when I do graduate, just because I have my MBA degree. It also gives you a sense of job security, knowing that you have that kind of degree. You know that later on in life, those people who have the undergraduate degree, although that holds strong, you're a step above that. So it does give you some job security. Also, because I like to do research here and there. From Investopedia, actually, they say that there's a 50% increase in your income with an MBA degree, and after 5 years, there's about an 80% increase. So that's always nice too. But it's really about the education. I mean, I think that's why I pursued it, because you're always learning. And actually, that's something I've learned in the program, is that although this is a degree, I'm always going to be learning, even after I obtain the degree. It just gives me that foundation to get there faster.
Great. So any final comments before you wrap up?
You got to be always wanting to better yourself, and that's what the MBA comes down to. It's no longer like the average high school, college degree. Everyone just kind of gets it. This is a choice, so you got to be in it to want to win it, but the investment is worth it, because anytime you're investing in yourself, it's never going to be a bad thing.
That's it. I would agree with that. I think any investment in yourself is worthwhile, especially if you're doing it for the right reasons, and if it's for the education, not so much only for the financial aspect of it.
Great. Well, thank you, Sal. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you all for joining us. Next week, we'll be talking about Facebook and the privacy issues. One of our faculty members, Petrali Chatterjee, will talk about that topic, and as well as take questions as we go through it. So we'll see you all next week. And until then, Thank you again.